Hey everybody, I am Meg from Loven Stamps and this is Maker Mornings with Meg. And I have a project to share with you today that is really fun and it made me think of that Elmo book. No, not Elmo, Grover. The Grover book. There's a monster at the end of this book. So if you know that one, as we're going along, maybe you'll kind of think of it too. But basically, this card comes with a warning. Like if you do not want to fall in love with this Rhino Ready stamp set and the coordinating dies, even if you think you're totally resistant, you should not watch this video because I'm pretty sure by the end you're going to love it. So with that in mind, we're going to use Rhino Ready today, which is one of the Stampin' Up! Online exclusives. We're going to talk a little bit about the color refresh that's coming from Stampin' Up! So that you know what to get ready for. And we are going to talk about some Stampin' Blend marker tricks. So if you're not an expert at Stampin' Blend markers yet, I will give you some tips and hopefully you will be by the end. And if you already are an expert at Stampin' Blends markers, then you might find something that you think, oh, I could add that to my toolbox and that would help. So we're actually going to make two cards. One is going to be a birthday because who can resist the pun of having a wild birthday? And the other one is also punny, but more of a support card. You're stronger than you think. So, all right, with that, let us switch our camera here and get rolling on our projects. So, good morning to Sue and Tanya and everybody who's there who hasn't said hi yet. So good to see you all. I'm waving even though you can't see me here. All right, so I'm going to zoom in just a teeny bit. There we go. That was more than a teeny bit. So that I can kind of get up close with these supplies. So these are the dies. We're going to come back to those. But let's go ahead and do our stamping first with our pieces. And we're going to do that because we want to give them just the best chance of getting nice and dry before we start to color them. So we're going to stamp both of these rhinos here. One's going to be for each of our card. I'm putting them a little bit further apart. This is a hint that I like to offer when you are making things that you're going to die cut. Don't put them too close together because then you'll be able to come back and you'll be able to die cut those elements from the same time. You won't have to split up your die cutting. You can put the dies on and run them through all at once. And then we're going to need a greeting here. So I'm going to add, hope your birthday is wild, and hopefully that will fit. Might got a little close to the edge, but we'll see. All right. So we're going to set this aside and let's talk a little bit about our card itself. So these pieces don't necessarily seem to go together, but I think you'll agree by the end that they work really well. I have our card bases, which are going to be basic gray here. So this is just a half sheet of cardstock. And then for our front element, a lot of times when I use something like this where there's a little feature piece, I really like to create a focal point. So we're going to go ahead. I have 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 rectangles cut. And I have 3 by 4 rectangles cut from the Like an Animal specialty paper. So let me get the plastic out of the way so you can see it. This paper includes a variety of animal-inspired prints. We have some sort of crocodile, giraffe, leopard, zebra, leopard, I can't tell, leopard and cheetah maybe are different things. And then this sort of fish scaly stuff. So lots of choices for this. And of course, since it's metallic with a white background, if you wanted it to be a different color, like you wanted it to be a pink giraffe, you could go ahead and sponge over the top of this. The gold would resist the ink. And so you'd end up with a pink background giraffe paper. So really cool possibilities. I love metallic papers with white backgrounds for that flexibility. But we're going to go ahead and use these two pieces, which I've cut to 3 by 4. This is a really efficient way to use your designer series paper. But then I'm going to tweak our 3 by 4 design. And if you're looking for more 3 by 4 card ideas and layouts and ways I've used this design, you can visit my website, lovenstamps.com, and search up 3 by 4 DSP cards, and there are lots. So at this point, I've just cut 1 inch off of the bottom. And we are going to mix and match these to work on our project here. So, oh, hey guys, Deborah and Trish and Kathy and Cheryl, good to see you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and, like I said, mix and match. So I'm gonna do this here and this here. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab my adhesive and you know what, I'm just gonna put my adhesive on here. Remember, when you're doing this, you don't wanna go too close to the edges because you don't want to have your adhesive overlap where your card layer is gonna go. But we're gonna pop these down here. This is a great way to mix and match any papers. As you know, the Stampin' Up! Designer Series papers come in coordinating colors and patterns and so forth. And I really love mixing and matching them like this because it lets you use more than one pattern of your paper. So almost all the Stampin' Up! Papers are double-sided. Oh, this one is too, I forgot. Oh my gosh, I was gonna say it wasn't double-sided, but look at that. They are double-sided. So they are more like colored, realistic prints on the back of all of these. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I must love the metallics so much that I've barely even ever turned these over. So that's really funny. Okay, anyway. Oh, I'm thinking of the online exclusive papers. They're not double-sided, but anyway, I'll come back to that. Okay, so we have our pieces here, which are mounted and ready to go. And then these go on Stampin' Dimensionals like this, so that they're popped up from the edge. And then this one I'll add some dimensionals for. And now we have waited plenty of time for our coloring. So we're gonna go back with our Stampin' Blends markers, and I'll talk a little bit about some tips for coloring our rhinoceros friends. Okay, so there's gonna be our card bases. We'll bring these back in here. And let's look at the Stampin' Blends markers. These are alcohol markers. So they have the ink in them is soluble. It's suspended in alcohol rather than water, which means you wanna use a water-based ink when you are coloring them. And so, hey Carol, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in, oops, even more, zoom in, not out, zoom in. My phone is not cooperating with me. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in, there we go, even more. And I'm gonna start with my sort of three-step system here. So for each set of markers, there is a dark and a light. This one that I'm using right here is gray granite. So I always start with my light marker, and I am going to give our rhinoceros friend here a color wash where he just gets one coat of the whole light color that's gonna be his base color, okay? And so I'm gonna go back and forth and kind of like to follow the lines of the stamp where we have certain, you know, shapes or things like that. So once I've got my, once I've got that on, I'm gonna go back with a dark marker and I'm going to add a dark line. And this is not super dark, so I'm actually gonna change it up. I'm gonna use a darker marker. This is Smoky Slate. Whew, you see that? Okay, Pepper really wants to come inside. I'm gonna have to let her in a second. So I'm gonna add the dark here in the shadow lines and then in the color here lines that Stampin' Up! Has added for us, okay? And a color here line is basically like the artist at Stampin' Up! Saying, hey, add extra color here. This is where a shadow would occur. So, all right. So now I'm going back. This is step 3, is to go back with a lighter marker and color at the intersection, the sort of place where the light and the dark meet to soften those lines, okay? So I'm gonna kind of go around here with the shaping, kind of around here, under his tail, it's the rhino tail. And then I'm gonna kind of go back here on the belly to kind of shape that a little bit. So what you want is you want to end up with some lighter and some darker spots. And pardon me while I let my dog in, who is super distressed about being outside for some reason. She always wants to be outside, especially on a sunny day. She must think there's something fun going on in here. She heard that there were rhinos or rhinoceroses involved or something like that. Okay, and then we're gonna go back and we are going to add some color here to our bird. Remember that there are 2 tips on a Stampin' Blend marker. You can use the brush tip or you can also use the bullet tip. But whatever you do, remember, do not twist. I'm not twisting. Only pull directly off for your caps and push them directly on. They're square barrels and they're not meant to be twisted. I know we all have circular shaped markers in our lives, so It's a stretch to kind of get used to that, but be very careful that you're not twisting your markers. They don't like that. All right, I'm gonna go with our party. Okay, I demonstrated this for my demonstrator, my Loven Stamples demonstrator family, demonstrator team, and I couldn't remember what this thing was called then either. What is this thing called? Gosh, I'm like a big mental block against it. Oh, and happy pre-Friday, Kelly. Good to see you guys. Okay, so then once this is set, we're gonna go ahead and take our dies here. So we have our coordinating dies. Let me zoom out a little bit. That's in. There we go. I'm going to take my coordinating dies, and this fits right over a blow tickler. Oh, I don't think I've ever heard that before, Sue. I like it. Is that like the official term? Straight from the party planning genius there. So, okay, so we have our guys here, and then our blow tickler. They came up with a different name on our team one. I can't remember what it was though. Oh well, anyway. And we're gonna die cut this too. So I have my washi tape already on there, makes it easy. And then for our circle, I have been preaching. Oh, Sue says it's a super old term. I love that. I'm gonna have to like write it and put it in a note in my stamp case. So I've been telling you guys forever that the stylish shapes dies are my favorites. I adore these, and they are on the retiring list. So if you haven't gotten them yet, it is going to be your last chance. But I'm going to go ahead and pop a circle on here to die cut. And then for our little rhino right here, the only thing we're going to color her, she has cute little eyelashes the same as the other one, but I'm going to give her pink toenails just as a fun little accent there. So I'm using Positively Pink, which is one of the retiring in colors. So there are her cute toes. All right, so let's go ahead and set that aside. And through the magic of television, I have all of these pieces here ready to go, okay? Now, I also have these pieces of cardstock here, which don't at first glance match great with our colors. But one of the things I love, you guys know this, about a stamp set is I absolutely love the stamps or the die sets that have accessory images that are not necessarily, they're related to the stamps, but they aren't just the shapes that cut out our stamped friends. And so this one has a lot of those images. It has these fantastic trees here. So this is the tree stems, and they're very like African plains kind of trees. If you know what kind of tree they are, tell me. And they also have these in Hawaii, or some trees a lot like them in Hawaii. My Hawaiian friends could probably tell me what those are. And so these we're gonna cut out here from Garden Green, and we're gonna cut from Soft Suede. Soft Suede is another one of the retiring colors. I posted a graphic on Loven Stamps Instagram, Loven Stamps Facebook, so you can see what those 11 retiring colors are. Soft Suede is one. Let's see if I can do them. Bermuda Bay, Pacific Point, Mango Melody, Mary Merlot. I'm going out of order. This is dangerous. Blushing Bride, Soft Suede, Sahara Sand. I'm missing a few. Anyway, you'll want to check the list there to see what they all are. Or actually in the comments here, I'll post a little picture too. But for those retiring colors, they are while supplies last. So ink, cardstock, reinkers, things like that. Don't wait too long to get them if they're things you need. There are some of the color things that are going on sale on April 4th, and those, of course, will be supplies last too, while supplies last. If you are interested in those, I sent an email to my email list subscribers yesterday. You can sign up for my email list on my website at lovenstamps.com, and I can get that to you. So watch for those lists also on my blog. All right, anyway, we're gonna die cut these. Okay, so I've got these, and here we are with our pieces ready to go. So there is one set of trees and branches, and here is another set of trees and branches here to go with our little pink toenail friend. All right, so let's go here, and we're gonna move our Stampin Blends markers out of the way, and we're going to bring our cards back. Now, when we do our little party guy, I'm going to show you a trick here. I want his, Razzleberry. Yes, Sue got one that I missed. His blow tickler, I want to be right there in his mouth. So I'm going to very carefully cut a hole, a little slit here right below his mouth. And so now I can take my, let's see, so I cut that in there. I can take our blow tickler and slide it in just like that. So it actually is connected to our little rhino, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and get these cards ready to put together. So for our rhino friend here, we're gonna go ahead and use a strip of basic white cardstock. And sorry guys, I just realized my camera's not straight. Our little strip of basic white cardstock and my polished pink piece here. I hope I called it polished pink and not positively pink earlier. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make a greeting here that says, "You're stronger than you think." And I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. All right, so we have that. And then for the inside of our card, which I realized, did I cut a cardstock for it? I did. We're actually going to use the other greeting that goes with this one, and we're going to have "You're built tough." And that's going to go on the inside of our card. And then I'm going to go ahead and use our rhino here to stamp, and we're going to put this one on the inside, our happy rhino. So, all right, so let's go ahead. We're going to make this card together, and then I'll show you what this finished card looks like since it's very similar. So we're gonna go ahead and put our layer on the inside. Remember, you always wanna stamp the inside of your cards as well as your envelopes. You have your stamps out, so why wouldn't you? And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start assembling some pieces here. So these trees are absolutely fantastic. You could use them without, let me put this here. You could use them without the rhino stamps, like I said, if you wanted something that was a little bit less cartoony. But I really love these to set off the pieces of our tree, or the pieces of our stamp. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take our tree here and we're gonna flip it over. You guys know I don't really like to be fussy about attaching things. So what I'm gonna do is set this down, and I'm gonna use Stampin' Dimensionals to go ahead and adhere the little elements of the tree branches to the back of our piece here. So now we have a tree that's gonna sit there, and it's really easy to work with because I've got it all glued together. And we're gonna do the same trick here. So I'm just gonna barely overlap, easier to do on table rather than holding in the middle of the air. I'm just gonna barely overlap, and I might need to grab a mini Stampin' Dimensional sheet here. There we go. So these are the tiny ones, in case you didn't know that we had those. Highly recommend adding some to your collection. All right, and so now we have our second tree kind of set here like this, and we have our rhino friend. So let's put our rhino friend here and figure out where we want our elements to go. So this is me like laying out all the pieces. So I think we're gonna set it up just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some adhesive here on the back of our strip, and I'm not gonna do a ton on the end because I don't want to glue this down flat. I want this to kind of pop up here with this three-dimensional element. And then I'm gonna take our rhino friend and pop a couple of dimensionals on the back of it. And keep that straight. Remember, with a multi-purpose liquid glue, it takes a little extra second to grab, so you want to make sure that you're not fussing with it too much while it's still trying to grab. All right, and then I'm going to pop this tree behind. Usually, if you assemble your cards from the bottom up, it's a little easier, but I seem to be assembling mine from the top down today. So we're going to go ahead and flip this one over and pull some dimensional backings off, and then add this. So now we have our extra little tree elements here in the background to go with our rhinoceros. And then we have all these little elements, which we're gonna do the same thing to, except I've already done it. It's gonna go on our green backing card. So you could do, you could mix and match colors for anything with this set. So if a person's favorite color is blue, then you could switch and use blue, all kinds of possibilities. So here is the card here that is put together with our birthday friends. So hope your birthday is wild. And then on the inside, I stamped the other little rhino that we haven't used and gave it a little party hat here, which is also part of the fantastic dies included in this set. So the other dies that we haven't used are a couple of these fun big leaves. I don't know, monstera leaves maybe. This little party hat. This matches the grass. These I think are kind of like bushes or clouds or background, lots of possibilities for those. Hi Becky. And then like some extra little plants. So you can put this little plant in your rhino's mouth, would be kind of cute, especially for this rhino. I feel like it's designed to have that little plant sticking out the side there. So, so lots of fun possibilities for that. So there are 2 cards. So I don't know how you guys feel, but I kind of am a little bit in love with these little rhinos and the greetings and the gorgeous trees and dies in this set. And so it's kind of like that, the warning, there's for Grover in the monster at the end of this book where you keep seeing Grover say, hey, don't turn the page, don't turn the page. There's a monster coming. And you have to turn the page, right? So anyway, if you watched, then hopefully you love the rhinos as much as I do. I will look forward to sharing some things on my blog later today about the retired list. If you didn't get them by email from me yesterday, then you can watch for those later. But the specials for those items will start on April 4th. So there's not a huge rush to figure out. You'll have time to kind of plan out your strategy for that. But if there are things that you want that are retiring that you have to have, don't wait until the list, until April 4th, because things could be pretty busy that day. Also, on April 4th, demonstrators will have a chance to pre-order supplies from the new catalog that launches in May for customers. So if you are a person who thinks, I need it now, I can't wait for the new colors, I can't wait for new stamps, you can sign up to be a demonstrator. I'd love to have you join my Loven Stampfuls demonstrator family. There is information in the video description about that if you'd like information about getting the starter kit and getting started. So, Louise says she likes how we put the little whistle in the guy's mouth. Yes, it is definitely a really like great bonus thing that it just fits exactly right in there. Let me get there. Yeah, just tucks up right. I know that's not very focused for you guys. Tucks up right in there. Oh, and I wore my shirt today, my Lion King shirt, because I wanted to show you the trees. So here, you see the trees here? They're very like, let's see, can I get a good view of them? Like kneel on my chair. There we go. Anyway, the trees are very iconic of that sort of African plains look. So they are a great one to add to all kinds of things. All right. Well, how's that for a day? Happy pre-Friday, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, that you stay warm and dry and all kinds of crazy storms coming and so forth. But I will be back on Tuesday with another Maker Mornings with Meg, and then it will be April. So we'll be ready to rock. So watch for some features of some retiring things coming up. And then a new month of Maker Mornings with Meg, Loven Stamps monthly tutorials, and our Enjoy the Journey tutorials. These guys here, they are finally on Etsy in the Loven Stamps card mart. So if you're looking for those tutorials to purchase, you can get those from my store finally. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful day, and I will look forward to, oh, thanks, Tanya. Thanks, Sue. I'll look forward to seeing you guys next week. Happy stamping. Happy pre-Friday.